All right. I think we're just about ready to get started. So we're going to jump in here and get started. So as I mentioned, this is application 2022 2A12 Village at Avalon. For our virtual meeting tonight, we're going to ask everyone just to avoid any feedback by muting themselves until they're called upon or until I, as the moderator, unmute our participants for our Q&A portion of the presentation. And of course, there is a raised hand option that you can use to inform me that you do have a question or a comment just to offer for the presentation tonight. Our format for tonight will include staff's presentation first, followed by the applicant's presentation, and then we'll have our Q&A. We are on a little bit of a tight schedule this evening as well, so we have until just around 7:05 to wrap this presentation up before we jump into our third and final presentation this evening. And as we mentioned, this application is in District 1, and Commissioner Nicole Wilson oversees this portion of the county. And we're joined this evening by her aide, Hannah Gutner, who is listening in. And if she has any questions or comments, she will have access to do that.
Yes, hello. Thank you all so much for joining us. Don't hesitate to reach out with that email that's right there, district1@ocfl.net. Happy to answer any questions or concerns, whether it's about this or anything else in the district. Please don't hesitate. Thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Thank you, Hannah. And of course, our applicant for this evening is Rebecca Wilson, who represents the Lowndes Law Firm. She is representing the owner of the subject property, which is PRS Investors Group, LLP. This application is to change the future land use map designation of the 22.197 gross acre and 17.118 net developable acres from the village designation to growth center, planned development, commercial medium density residential, or as you see on the screen, GCPDC MDR. The applicant is proposing up to 342 multifamily dwelling units in 4 acres of commercial space with a maximum floor area ratio of 0.5 or up to approximately 87,120 square feet. The commercial uses will be limited to those permitted in the C1 zoning district, which we refer to as our retail commercial district. And of course, with this application, you're going to hear, with this presentation tonight, you're going to hear us reference future land use and zoning. Future land use is associated with all parcels in Orange County, and it describes the vision for properties. These regulations regulate the types of uses and development that are allowed on the property, and they establish the maximum density, which is our number of dwelling units per acre for residential development, or intensity, which is the floor area ratio for non-residential non-residential projects. We also have zoning, which is associated with each property in Orange County, and zoning districts are more descriptive planning classifications, which must be consistent with future land use map designation. Zoning categories contain specific code language that regulates such aspects of development, such as permitted uses, building size, setbacks, street access, landscaping, and buffering and parking requirements. The subject property is located, as I mentioned previously, in District 1. It's located in the southwest quadrant of the county. Specifically, it is located on the west side of Avalon Road and just south of Grove Blossom Way. The current future land use designation for the property is our village designation. And just a moment here. And of course, the village designation allows for residential development at a density of 1 dwelling unit per 10 acres unless approved as a special planning area. That's for the existing future land use. The proposed future land use designation, as I mentioned, is growth center, planned development, commercial, medium density residential. And of course, if approved, this would allow the applicant to have a mixed-use development with up to 342 multifamily dwelling units and 4 acres of commercial space. And of course, those uses are proposed to be limited to those permitted in the C1 zoning district. Of course, the existing zoning is A1, which is our citrus rural district. And of course, the proposed zoning for it is planned development district, which would establish the mixed-use development program and design and development standards for how the site itself would be developed. Looking ahead at our process, our large-scale future land use map amendment process includes the intake of the application. We are currently at the community meeting stage this evening. On June 16th, we will have the first of 4 public hearings. The first hearing will be our transmittal hearing before the local planning agency, followed by a transmittal hearing before the Board of County Commissioners on Tuesday, July the 12th. The application at the board transmittal hearing, it will be decided whether the application is transmitted to the Department of Economic Opportunity and other regional reviewing agencies. That would take place during the month of August. Following any comments that would be received from the state, um, we would then hold our first of 2 adoption hearings, the first being the local planning agency adoption hearing on Thursday, October 20th. That's tentatively scheduled, followed by a final adoption hearing before the board on Tuesday, November 15th. Again, those dates are tentative, and we have, of course, the contact information for the mayor and the 6 commissioners, and we have a slide coming up in the presentation which will reference those again. Of course, again, this is just a summary of our schedule. And of course, each of these hearings, as well as tonight's community meeting, um, are opportunities for the public to offer comment and feedback, as well as to ask questions. And of course, the public hearings taking place in June, July, October, and November will take place in the Orange County Commission Chambers, which is at 201 South Rosalind Avenue in downtown Orlando. Of course, Commissioner Wilson's email address is district1@ocfl.net. And displayed on the screen is the mayor's email address, along with the other 5 commissioners, in case you would like to submit feedback and comments to them as well. And then, of course, providing online feedback, you can email Jenny Dubois, who is on the community meeting notice, and you can also submit feedback through the same website that you accessed this evening to participate in this community meeting. And that address is in orange above. And of course, there will be a feedback form that you would then click on and follow some very simple steps to then submit your feedback. Those feedback items are sent directly to the project planner, who will then take those comments and include them in terms of the number of feedback forms we receive, as well as concerns that expressed by property owners, and they will be referenced in staff's presentations before the local planning agency and the board. And of course, now I'm going to yield over to the applicant, and I just want to make sure that Rebecca is on the line, which I do see her. So, Rebecca, I'm going to yield over to you. I see you're unmuted.
Thank you so much, Chris. I appreciate the introduction, and obviously we agree with everything that you explained. It's a request to go from the village designation to the growth center PD with commercial, and as you mentioned, 4 acres set aside for commercial, and then the medium density residential at a maximum of 342 multifamily units. Just wanted to mention that on this property there is a wetland. It's a class 1 wetland, and we have committed not to impact that wetland. It's a little over 5 acres. And then I also have on the line Bert Hedrick, who's the VP of Development for the developer Aventon, and also on the line, although I can't, I'm just listed as an attendee. I don't know if I can see everyone else, but I'm sure our engineer, Brent Lenzen, is also on the line. And we just wanted to make ourselves available in case there are any questions from the residents.
Okay. I've unmuted both Burke and Brent in case they do have any initial comments they'd like to meet. If they don't, I'm happy to mute them until we get to the question and answer session.
Sure. Well, good afternoon. I've got a slide, if I can share it, of just, I guess, a little bit more about Aventon. If that's something we can do, or we can do that later on in the presentation if that is preferred.
Burke, I'm going to make you a panelist, and then let me see what I can do here. I'm going to make you a presenter, and then you should be able to share your screen.
Right. I see it now. Wonderful. Does that work?
Yep. And then I would just, if you can, just enlarge it, or you could hit the slide if there's like a slideshow button. But if not, there is, you can actually, if the viewers, just kind of put their mouse over the screen, they can actually zoom in that way too, in case.
I'm not seeing a presentation mode. Hopefully that is large enough that you can see um, the screen. Or is that
Yeah,
visible or no?
yeah, I think it's fine for now. And then of course,
Okay.
individual viewers can zoom in. I'm able to zoom in, so there should do the same. And then of course, if there is anyone who wants to see a little closer after the fact, they can always contact staff, and we can coordinate with the applicant's design and engineer team, and we can, I'm sure, provide copies of what you're showing, or they can see them at the public hearing.
Wonderful. Well, thank you, Christopher. Appreciate it. My name is Burke Hedrick with Aventon Companies. We are a multifamily developer. We have in-house construction, and we're a company that stretches across the entire East Coast. We build, I can go to this next one, apartments from DC down to Florida. We do have an office here in Orlando, so local. And Sean Flanagan, who is on as well, and myself are local Orlandians as well. And so know the market and love living here, and really look forward to what this project will bring to the area, and what we can provide a living experience to them. These are some of the example pictures of some of our communities here in Orlando, as well as other parts of the state. We're in most of the major metros here in the state. Another some few shots of some of the amenity spaces and our dog parks, which are a great amenity that we provide to our residents, as well as some of the outdoor cooking and living areas. So just a little overview of what we do and who we are. A national company, but a local presence that we really look forward to what this Avalon Road project will bring. So we're here to answer any questions that come up this evening.
Okay. Rebecca, did you have anything else to add? Because if not, I can go into the question and answer session.
Let's just get to the question and answers, Chris. Thanks.
All right. I'm gonna just looks like, okay, as long as I'm the host, I can control everything here. Give me just a moment. I'm gonna let's see here. Give me just a moment. I lost where we were at on our little bar here. There's a I apologize. There we go. Okay, I'm going to unmute everyone. And of course, if you don't want to speak, just mute yourself and then we'll go with whoever has the first question and kind of go from there. So,
He sees these people.
okay, good evening, everyone. I have the attendees unmuted. So if you have any questions, feel free to offer them.
Yeah, but he sees them, right?
I can hear you, sir.
You can hear me?
I can, yes. Do you have a question?
No, no, I don't. I was just wondering if you can hear me.
Oh, I can. I can. What's your name, sir? And I'll mute you.
No, Ben Coyne. I was in from the previous hearing,
Okay.
the one on Bali Boulevard. So
Okay.
stayed on. I stayed on because I'm interested to hear.
Okay. But
Have
no
any comments?
comments. Okay.
No comments or questions, right? But you don't see me. Do you see me?
No, I don't see you, sir.
Oh,
I
you
just
don't-
hear you.
You just hear me. I got it.
Yep. I'm gonna mute you, sir. And is there anyone else who has any questions or comments? If not, we will wrap up this particular community meeting and we'll get our next one started either right at 7 or shortly thereafter. If anyone wants to do the raised hand, let me know. If not, we will wrap up. Rebecca, anything else to add before we wrap up?
No, Chris, I just really want to thank you all for making this possible. And also, Hannah, to you and to the district commissioner, I know that you guys are incredibly busy with the activity that's going on in your district. And I appreciate you all accommodating these meetings. And I think that this was a really smart and efficient way to do these. And Chris, to you and Sue and Jenny, I know you guys went to school and learned how to be planners, not necessarily WebEx administrators. So you guys are doing an awesome job. I really appreciate it. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We appreciate the feedback. So this officially wraps up this particular community meeting, and we want to thank everyone for participating. And then if you are joining us for the third and final virtual meeting of the evening, just hold tight and we will get started just right after 7 o'clock. So thank you all. I'm going to mute myself for a moment and shut down my video and get the next presentation started. So thank you.